I set up the transition as well. I like the transition. It's cool. Alright, we're finally in game. Thanks for the patience, guys. Obviously, just a rough little period trying to get going. I can say the French stream had some stuff to do, and we had some stuff to do as we get into Clem versus herO. Terran versus Protoss in the quarterfinals, match 2 of this Maestros of the Game event. Clem with some hotkey issues. Probably, he always has hotkey issues. So a moment or two while he gets his hotkey sorted out, we can get this fixed up and underway and get this ready to party on. Is Clem's cam now frozen? Is it just that camera each time is just frozen on my screen, or? Oh no, it's not frozen, he's moving. It's so small on my screen, like it just doesn't look like anything. Okay, there you go, hotkeys messed up. I wonder what it is that causes his hotkeys to get messed up a lot. I wonder if it's the race switching or what it is. It's very interesting because it happens all the time to Clem. Clem in the top right and herO in the bottom left will set us off into this second best of 5 of the day. Big one because, of course, get to that winner bracket semi-finals. It's a one-round advanced. Avoid the lower bracket, but again, they're playing for the top 4 of this competition where they get a trip to Paris. Now, that's not super exciting for Clem, but still a chance to play in front of a home crowd would be very exciting, even if it's not a long trip. A home crowd to play in front of, I think, is something which would be very exciting for him. He would, if he won this, have to go through Classic to get there today, though, because Classic sits in that upper bracket semi-final, waiting for the winner of this matchup. That will be played later on in the day as our 5th series out of 6 that happen on day 1 of the playoffs. Engineering Bay block will come down, so Clem is going to stop herO from being able to expand early. It's going to be seen pretty quickly, though, which means that we are going to get the probes pulled down as a response to this. The SCV looping around for a little bit. It's pretty low HP, can't really do too much else, but nice for it to stick around and trying to figure out what else it might want to do. Cybercore will get put into place. It's going to get the Nexus put into position as well. Reaper hops up, heading down to that bottom left side. Warp gate adept and the Nexus continue to come through as we take a few moments. Just gonna see the Reaper still moving about. Stalk coming up, Warp gate on the way, Nexus building through. So we're just going to be shooting, the Reaper taking a couple shots. There's going to be a couple of those SCVs taking damage. We do have the Twilight counts continue to build up as well. Again, just going to have the Adept, the Zod setting up on that high ground. The Marine going to be there. Zod going to get turned around again. We see the heli unit fighting, the few Marines trading. Obviously, all the units here slowing down that command center, but I feel like this is going to be dealt with pretty nicely. The heli unit stepping through, going after the Adept. I mean, yeah, this is going to be dealt with. The units go down. Bit of a delay for Clem, but he gets back on track. However, now a Stalker or 2 showing up, and that's a problem as well, because that bunker is still not done, and Clem doesn't have many units to fight this with right now. Gonna have to try and use that heli to the best of his ability. The Reaper as well, the few Marines showing up. Looks as though we are going to be okay. We get a Stalker kill, which feels very nice, and the bunker is done, so we can retreat the Marines back to a bunker, and finally Clem is truly going to be safe in these early stages. Is going to be bringing us through to a much more comfortable position now as the couple Stalkers will hit that Reaper. We have to step away, and the Reaper goes down, just stepping a bit too far forward. Marine's going to hop out and just try and get some more damage onto the Stalker here, really looking to get a kill. Very adventurous from Clem. He will force this to the low ground. Once it's on the low ground, you can't really fight back as herO. But he lost a couple of Marines to push that back very aggressively and very quickly, as soon as possible, essentially. Now we have the Hellion threatening to go across the map, but the couple of Stalkers will see it on the retreat, and so nothing is going to come through there for the moment either. Banshee, tank, Marines, and the cloaking will continue to come through. Blink still coming up to be done. Forging the gateway coming online. Stalker's going to be there. The Hellion gets chased the other way. And Banshee, tank, Marine coming about. The Banshee around that bottom side looking for a way through at the moment. Nexus will come in, the extra gates building. We have the Hyperfly rotors on the way up as well. Just take a few moments. Hyperfly rotors on the way, and that's something we have seen a lot of lately. Hyperfly rotor Banshees, keeping on building the Banshees and using them as a main way to harass and deal damage throughout the course of the early and mid game. And then you play mech behind it. And that has been the last time I watched Clem. He was playing mech exclusively in this matchup. It looks like that's going to be the case again here today, at least to start this series off. So into the factories and into the mech has been what they feel like is the better way to play as of late, as the couple of Banshees continue to settle. Throws going down. Stalkers get underneath. The Banshee cloaked up and actually getting away. Observer was not in range, so we lost one of the volleys. Sieged up for the extra range at the end, which got you a couple more Stalker shots, but not enough for a kill. That's a couple pros going down for no cost at the moment. Field accelerator on the way through. The Stalker's going to get turned away. We're going to get the orbital command floating over to the third base here over the next few moments as well. Cannon, Observer, +1 attack and charge. Continuing to build through for the moment. Again, Magfield Accelerator continuing to produce right now. We get a few more units warping in once again. A couple extra zealots warping in as the orbital will land in the next few moments. Bunker going to drop into position. Stalkers and Zealots though want to break through this, and this is just before Clem is set up, but the Banshees, I feel like, have the potential to do a lot of work. The Zealots really are overwhelming though. Stalkers, they're being good enough numbers. If we just have detection, I think those Banshees are not going to last long, and then there's not going to be much left really here for Clem, but we get rid of the Obs again, and now the Banshees can chase this army of herO down a little bit. There's actually still an Observer right there with the army. But herO has to back it up, and while he actually did okay breaking through, he actually just doesn't have enough power to keep going through. A lot of Clem's army supply is in the Banshees, but there's not enough anti-air yet to battle those. He didn't actually have charge for that fight either, so the Zealots could have been even better if charge was done. Obviously, that just didn't line up just yet. The units going to gather. We just see the few Stalkers warping in. A couple factories continue to build into play at the moment to get ready for a push up this high ground. Stalkers going to press through. It's going to be seeing the Banshees firing. Hellions morphed into Hellbat's going to be big against the Zealots. What I worry about for herO is he doesn't have a long-term plan here. This is an army that's looking to break through Clem's force right now, and that is it, right? Like, this is just the game plan, is to break through against this force here and now, and if it doesn't work out, like I say, he's not well set for the future. His tech is limited, he's got a robo facility and upgrades, and that's about it at the moment. Stalker step through, Orbital will take a few shots of damage. The Banshees again is going to reposition over, and so far here will not find the moment to break through just yet. So Zealots warping by, and we do have the push forward starting now. The Zealots try and charge in. Hellbat's turn to fly, no blue flame yet, as the Banshees try and keep themselves safe in the back. Stalker stepping forward, want to get on top of those Banshees. And the Zealots are putting in work though, and I just don't think Clem has enough. GG's called as herO keeps on in with the aggression, and while Clem had a couple of good defenses, what he never got was a solid line of tanks or a solid way that it works as we get ready to go. into Grezvan for game number 2. One of the maps that got voted into this map pool. Well, we took a few of the maps out. So, yeah, Grezvan for this second game, as we have in the bottom right corner. The blue Terran player is going to be Team Liquid's Clem, fighting from the 1-0 deficit, with the advantage belonging to his opponent in the top left corner, herO. Game number 2 of this best of 5. And best of 5s all day long. Best of 5s all day long. Lower bracket does become best of 7, so some of the elimination matches tomorrow will be best of 7 when we get to those. But yeah, today's going to be best of 5 after best of 5 after, you guessed it, best of 5. Similar in the build gateway, just building up. The SCV's going to start taking some steps across the map. Engineering bay and the barracks coming through, the gateway building up, then just have ourselves settling down and taking a few moments as we just, yeah, play the engineering bay block, same as what we had in game 1. Doesn't see this as quickly this time, herO, so it is going to be probably a different response where you actually try and expand to the third base rather than just taking the probes to the low ground and playing denial on the engineering bay. It's just too healthy. The SCV full of HP as well could put more HP on the engineering bay if you try to fight it. And yeah, you can see here, he moved right down to the south, so takes that third base on the linear position. That's going to be where he tries to play forward from. Cybercore finishing soon, Nexus on the way. Probe continues to move out, the SCVs coming forward. And the SCV just coming right down to the bottom side. So just going to set up over there. Nothing too crazy. Actually going to drop the tech lab into place. The reactor still coming through. Barracks is on the way. And again, the Twilight Council on so continue to come online for a couple of moments. Get those probes on the go as well. I think we'll be playing Bio this game, obviously, which is with the barracks coming up. Which is like, obviously because the barracks coming up, but obviously going to be what was going to happen coming into this, which I think is obviously going to make this pretty fun. Just have the Cyclone and a couple of Marines coming stepping through, taking some steps forward and sending themselves out to the front for a little bit. So stepping on by. Stop to take a couple moments. Just going to see the stim pack on the way. Marines in the siege tank coming up as well. And another barracks on into play and into action. And that blink is already halfway done, as we just have the battery and the gateway continuing to produce. Siege is up on the natural. Marines building, tech lab building, orbital on the way out. Cyclone just locks on, the hallucination immediately going to take some damage, goes down right off the bat. And yeah, Blink really is not far from being done here. The robotics facility will be on the way. We bring that through, we get that set up. We just have the assimilator building as well on the side of herO. So again, that assimilator cell, the charge on the way through. Stimpack and Combat Shield both building now on the side of Clem. Add a few Marines on also. So this is going to be an attempt to push across the map, and herO will try and intercept to the best of his ability Going to the low ground gives herO the chance to really do a bit more damage again. So we're going to siege a tank to push him back. And herO attacking in, loses one Stalker right off the bat. Gets a Marine or so from this, but good play from Clem. Sieging the high ground. Gave him the chance to actually grab a Stalker there. That wasn't going to happen otherwise. So definitely gives you a little bit more leeway and a little bit more of an edge as the rest of the Stalkers continue to move through. But we just pull back and we're going to siege the tanks. Dim moments from finishing here as herO heads into the charge upgrade, the Immortal and Gateways. Additional Marines coming out. The start, we're going to swap over to the reactor. Going to give us the chance to produce a couple of medevacs and start powering the bioforces here. Once, considering they're going to start stimming, having the medevacs overhead will do a lot for them to accompany them and support them. Sometimes it's a little bit gas drained, which is why the 2 medevacs take a while to start. Hallucination will get a pretty good confirmation in the main base of what is up. Sees the add-on setup on the structures, for example, as well, so sees there's no real surprises coming in. It's one of the main things that Hallucination just wants to keep on scouting, keep on reaffirming what you are seeing, and just hoping that nothing comes about that's too surprising, basically. You should never be caught off guard. He saw a chunk of the units nearby as well, which tells you that Clem is not dropping on the map already, for example. What Clem does not have is any sign of a third base, and I do wonder if he's got intentions of kind of, taking a third. What is interesting is obviously herO only just drops his third base down now. So herO is very comfortable in saying, you know what, I'm not going to expand too quickly. I understand you might be playing a more aggressive style, and if that's the case, I want to be very ready to kind of meet your aggressive style with units of my own. So playing the 2-base tech and then taking a slower third does kind of strip the option of Clem being overly aggressive, because attacking into what has been for a long time a 2-base Protoss is just not going to net you a whole lot of benefits. Clem with the attempted drop saw the Zealots as well, so herO can't really dive in with the run by here, at least from the right side. He's going to come around the back with the Stalkers. Doesn't really bode too well, because there's actually units in almost every single direction, but the medevacs, Clem had seen these Stalkers, but apparently just not. I really thought he'd seen those. I really thought he knew where they were. Does end up getting a couple of kills in the end, but lost one medevac. Actually gets a good few Stalkers out of it, so maybe it isn't even that bad overall, but still, medevac count being drained means you got to be even more careful with the medevacs that remain, because the last thing you want to have happen here is for your medevacs to just get shot down, and for you to never really have a comfortable medevac count in the game at all. That would truly be a little bit of a disaster as the army continues to go top left. Clem wanting to push right now before thermal lands, before some of these additional kind of, tech bits and pieces hit into herO. Colossus took a beating already. Next tank gets sieged up a bit further forward. Clem has a lot of units as he pushes in. Couple sentries will go down. The pylon going to be, I was going to say maybe in trouble, but he actually just dives for the Colossus. And obviously Zealots warping in right next to this. That's a lot of bio left over. The tank's still there for him to fall back to. Zealots on the other side walk into Widow Mines, and I think it's fair to say that Clem has absolutely monstered his way through this front line. I don't know where this Colossus, I guess, to the robo facilities on the 3rd base, but it just walks in from a weird angle. It will instantly die. And Clem just needs to reinforce this, and he should be absolutely golden to see victory in game number 2 and to tie the series up 1-1 in the best of 5 quarterfinals. Zealots are still pushing forward. The Stalkers and the Immortal looking to come through as well. The tanks will volley through. herO has to say GG. Really cannot do much else right now. Clem is going to be able to take game 2 of this match. We're going to start off in the top right corner of the map. In the blue, repping the Terran race, repping Team Liquid, of course. It is Clem. In the bottom left-hand side, the red Protoss player, herO. I loved Sandworm. We actually used Sandworm alongside Persephone in one of the other maps. What was the other one we used? I can't remember what other one we used, but we used a few of these maps kind of on the WardiTV Mondays before the, when the Team Liquid map contest still first happened. And yeah, it was really fun to see Sandworm. It was actually one of the players' favorites. It got played a lot. We used Sandworm, Persephone. What was the other one I used? Anyone remember? It's actually, I can't remember for the life of me now, but I like that one as well. I think it was a I can see it, but I can't remember the name of it. Is my current problem. I'm actually gonna look it up. Hang on. Let's find out where it was. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Somewhere in the middle. Killer's Mile. Yeah, so we used Killer's Mile as well. That one didn't make ladder either. But that one was also kind of cool. Kind of cool. Kind of fun and kind of cool. Runner one, kind of a fool. According to me, at least. Nexus drops down. We probe back into the main base. Cyber core building through. Still can't understand why Last Fantasy got past the map. But yeah, hey, Last Fantasy was like, hey, out of all the 3-player maps we've had lately as well, because there was actually a TLMC where we prioritized 3-player maps. It was the worst candidate for a 3-player map we've seen in a long time. It's pretty busted. Hopefully if they 3-player map again, they actually pick a good one, because I actually do think there are some pretty okay 3-player maps, just Last Fantasy really was not it. I can't believe Last Fantasy made it, man. It's actually crazy. Baffling. Baffling. Marines going through. The Twilight Council starting up the blink right there. And we see herO playing pretty regularly. Obviously waiting to see what Clem would like to do on his opening. I mean, so far not too surprising. I'm also just wondering what the, you know, are we seeing mech or are we seeing bio kind of on the later stages? That's where obviously we start to really figure out what the plan is and what we're going to start heading into, so... That was trying to say shade, but doesn't really get anywhere. Let's see, 3 more gates and the Robo coming up. It's a pretty aggressive blink play from herO, who will be able to get a prism out and be able to apply a lot of blink stalker pressure. So herO's going to have a lot of capabilities in that regard, and that's going to be very interesting to follow. You don't see the 4-gate blink super often. I mean, it's still used, but it's definitely not one of the most common ways that people have been playing things out. You have that Adept trying to shade through toward the front again. Still got that blink finishing very shortly. Robo about a complete gateway being done very soon. Medevac comes boosting across to the bottom left-hand side of the map, and the Marines are still gathering themselves together with the Adept shading into the natural. Medevac will boost Widow Mines available to drop in. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to see all those probes pulling through. Stalkers going to be right there. Going to have the blink to avoid, but that's 6 probes that go down, so actually a very good start here from Clem. Remember that herO's also playing 4-gate blink, which means not a fast third base, not a good economy. You're going to delay your third a lot for this, and yeah, this is actually going to be painful, losing 6 workers when you're trying to be focused on being aggressive, as powerful as you can at a certain point in the game. Taking eco damage like that is going to put you way off from where you wanted to be originally. That's definitely going to put herO into a bothersome position. As the Stalkers gather at the front, Prism will set up for a few more Stalker warp-ins, add a Zealot into the mix there as well. Oh, the Stalkers blink straight in, man, and Clem, I was going to say not quite ready for that. I think it's true. Medevac going down. The Marines there obviously being shot at from outside of the bunker, so we actually do get some value there as herO. The SCVs pulled, but the bunker never came under fire. So you have to have the SCVs there because you can't afford for the bunker to die. You need it. Mortar turret across the map as the Raven will actually get a few probes in return. So once again, herO's going to have economic issues because he's taking damage still. He blinks through, gets the siege tank quickly. Uh-oh, bunker is surviving. I actually think the bunker has enough repair on it to live. That's absolutely huge. Now the Stalkers go to the other side. They could blink across and finish the bunker off, which is no longer being repaired. Obviously, SCV is going down, but this is very committed from herO. He needs damage with this, and he is obviously getting it right here. 2 tanks now available. Clem had 1 tank right far up in the main base, and that's been part of his problem. If that was in any better of a position, maybe there would have been less problems, as we are going to get some Stalkers on the exit. The Raven showing back up as well. Clem lost 18 SCVs. He's down by 9, but with a couple tank siege, Stim finishing, and a lot of Stalkers hurting. I wonder if Clem is now able to stabilize. And if he can stabilize here, then we might be still in for a pretty reasonable journey in the next little bit of time. Stalkers in the main base, though, going to make it a little bit more difficult once again. I like it. A few more Stalkers still going down. Prism in some trouble as well, taking a few more shots. A few more hits just coming on through. We are going to be seeing the SCVs right there. The Prism gets pulled back and away, being brought out of position on that one. Kind of an exciting few moments, huh? As we're just going to reset with the Raven coming back around, +1 attack combat shield on the way up. Charge still being built here as well. We'll continue to bring that through for the moment. Clem has lived, and herO is now taking a third base on the gold, which I actually don't mind, because it does kind of force Clem to respond to it a little bit. Gives him a little bit of extra edge, if not. Nice auto turret again, going to get 3 probes. Clem's Raven's been great this game. It's really delivered. Every time that it's really needed to deliver, it's actually shown up and been a big deal. herO does have to knock these rocks down to make this gold base mineable, which keeps his units at home for a bit, which gives Clem the chance to get on the map, which obviously comes into play a little bit as well there, so also an aiding hand. SCV's getting pulled alongside everything else as the bio begins to make its way out across the map here. Looking through those Dragon's Teeth in the center. Sentry's on their own. The Stalker's off to the right side. That means you either give up the gold or you give up your units, and we're going to choose to give up the gold base. It doesn't exactly go, bode well for you in the long term here. So Nexus will indeed go down. The Prism in the main, Zealot Stalker gathering up. You can see the bio continue to fight. The few Zealots going down currently. All those SCVs getting picked away at. Clem losing 10 workers. Now going to turn. Obviously, having pulled the SCVs into this, he's very committed to making something happen in the here and the now. Clem wants to make something out of this push. Still have about 15 army supply. Can he stop herO from ever really stabilizing? SCV's going home. I mean, honestly, just knocking down the gold and knocking down the third feels as though Clem is no longer under pressure to full send, full commit anymore, right? I think at this stage you can probably say, okay, I'm in a comfortable spot. I can kind of just play from here. And I think that's exactly what he's going to start looking to do. From this point on, a couple force fields. So he's actually still fighting, but it's not a lot of Zealots, but it's enough to kind of force Clem to lift him back away still. Again, the rest of the bio stepping up. Warpin's coming through as well from herO. It's actually turned into a pretty close affair right now. Just going to see the bio coming about. Still those Zealots in the front going down. If we can get rid of the Immortals here, that would be huge. The auto turret going to tank a few shots. The bio units are low. Every single thing you can have in these fights is helping a lot. As Clem is, this game is very close. 29 to 21 army supply. Obviously, economy is okay for Clem because he could move the main if he wanted to. But herO just has no access to a third, which is why Clem stands here and fights. Because Clem wants to keep herO from expanding to base 3 for as long as possible, and being in this position and putting this pressure on does exactly that for you. So that's what Clem sticks on the map so heavily for. Well, Stalker shots going back the other way, the bio regathering once more. A few Stalkers pulling back down to the bottom left-hand corner. Marine Marauder Medevac coming up, add a couple mines, add a couple barracks. Medevac coming over once more, going to get the Widow Mine burrowed into the mineral line. It's going to go bang on a few probes. Good split from herO in the end. Lovely retargeting from Clem is actually quite nice as well, to be honest. She gets the Stalker in the end. And maybe could have even retargeted onto the big group of probes. But even still, just probes not mindful a little bit. Units going down. These are all things which Clem looks at positively. I think Clem's big thing is getting a medevac or two up and actually having some healing on that army, because missing the healing, that army was drained, man. It was super low. Good to see it being brought back into a better place as the bio regathers. Medevacs join back up. The Stalkers get going there as well. They do take a couple of shots, a couple of nibbles from the bio army, able to hit those Stalkers nicely. We do still see the Storm on the way, the Immortal and the High Templar being added onto that as well. When force field comes down, a couple of Zealots will start to drop here. As you see the Sentries and the Immortals gathering still. The bio really wanted to push through this position. Force Field's buying time as a couple of Zealots hit on the other side. herO still trying to cause a bit of chaos. Clem has the upgrade lead as well. That +1 should do a lot for him. We're moments away from Storm. Storm changes the momentum of this game a lot. It takes away a lot of Clem's ability to just attack, attack, attack. He knows the High Templar is there. He is now going to know Storm is available too, so he steps away. That Widow Mine is going to be huge. It really softens up both of those Immortals as the Bio, though, does get swept away. Storm a big part of the reason why, and 2 Immortals very low, but not dead. Really is huge for herO, because those are units which now get to survive on forward. And just difficult units to grab because they're always going to be behind a Zealot line at this point. So how does Clem ever really capitalize on them being low HP? Well, you probably just don't. Which means that it's amazing to have been able to keep them alive this far. Definitely a major positive and a major bonus there. Recall on that little group of units. Zealot, example, Immortal pulling back. Orbital going to lift off. Pull away from the front. Couple Stalkers blinking through, going after set Medivacs. Everything else joining back in the center. Widow Mine going down. The other Bio unit's going to be there. Stalkers get pushed back again. Clem has the upgrades, by the way, so in a game which is fairly even army supply-wise, Clem's upgrades should start to help him a lot here. That Storm is not going to be good enough. It's not close enough. Got some EMPs available. There's more Storms left. That's the one thing that's not going to matter in terms of upgrades, though, so you've got to be careful with the Storms and respect that. Storm is 100% the way in which herO has a way back into this game. He'll clinging onto those Storms and hanging onto those High Templar is going to be his way to potentially win a game that is otherwise, I think, pretty far gone for herO at this point. I think we're getting to that sort of point where this should not be really too good for him. Is that Archon just stuck? The High Templar morphed in the spikes, and now it's just stuck completely. That's unfortunate to say the least. Good news for Clem is he won't have to worry about that because the Archon has terrible range, so it's not going to be useful at all unless a Prism shows up to evacuate it. Prism on the way. One more High Templar just showing up now. Clem doesn't know about it. He's going to play safely. If he scanned and saw just the one High Templar, he might just commit in a bit more heavily, but honestly, kiting back's not a bad thing anyway. There's the Storm to disengage. And the Bio going to stem forward again. There's the Prism, saves the Archon that was stuck. Obviously, it's still an awkward position, but the Prism will continue to evacuate. Clem now, economy lead, upgrade lead, and now really an army lead as well. I think he's done enough. These fights have been good from Clem. He has stopped the Storms from connecting in too meaningful of a manner, and it does look as though Clem is going to have himself a road to a lead in the series now, looking to get up 2-1 in the best of 5. Liberator showing up on the other side, going to get sieged as well, try and be a little bit more annoying. And the Zealots and the Archons trying to come through. EMP's coming down. Archons melt. Stalker's dropping. The Immortal going to get jumped on as well. That's also going to get knocked down here. So the Immortal gone, and that is going to be pretty much that. As we have the Stalkers coming down the bottom left side. Liberator sieging up. Couple of probes going down still. The Archon Stalker wanting to come through. That's going to be a dead Liberator as well. That's going to be GG. Clem takes the 2-1 victory in this best of 5 series. Clem 2, herO 1, and chill and get set up again. What's happened here, but we're good now. Let's dive into it. We're going to go and have a peek in the bottom right corner. We're going to be with the Blue Terran, who leads 2-1. 2 games that he has not built mech. He has won. Isn't that kind of against the grain of what we've been expecting in this matchup lately? Maybe. It is Clem in the bottom right corner of the map, while in the top left-hand corner, it is going to be herO. Who's running this tournament? This tournament is by Comeback TV. They are the French casters, Funka, Coca, TKL, and company. They are running this one. Crowdfunded the money. Very passionate French scene. Lots of crowdfunding hit very quickly. Very impressive. Obviously, there was an offline finals for it as well. Top 4 of this tournament play in Paris for the finale. So yeah, that's in a couple of weekends' time. As we get this game 4 underway, let's see what we're gonna get up to. Let's find the Indicam. Where you at? Hiding at the bottom of the list, huh? Crazy. Got the Indicam on, and it's an Engineering Bay block again from Clem. Very consistently looking to Engineering Bay block. Found quickly again by herO. Obviously, when he found it quickly in Game 1, he did pull the probes and fight the Engineering Bay. When he didn't find it quickly in Game 2, he took the Nexus elsewhere. So obviously, leaning in this game back towards that Game 1 defense and response, which is going to be to pull the probes and to go after the Engineering Bay. Nexus will be the follow-up. As the Cyber Core came down already, and with the Engineering Bay going down quickly, you can put the Nexus in the correct position, not having to put that elsewhere, and expose it to the dangers of Hellion run-bys and more. They'll do very comfortably on that. There's Clem in Paris. He doesn't live in Paris, as far as I'm aware. Obviously, he's just in France. So he should just be playing. I'm pretty sure he's just at home in. I'm not sure where he lives. I can't remember. I've heard it before, but I've forgotten since then. Factory building, command center on the way through. SCV building up as well. Warp gates will be added on as you just have the CC high grounds are very safe from Clem. Wants to take away some of the aggressive potential that herO might have early in the game. When those first units show up like they did in that first game and put a lot of pressure on, those are the kind of things you want to steer away from, and that's exactly what the high ground command center looks to achieve. Just giving you a much more comfortable and clear-cut game in the early stages. A couple of Marines will be there. Probe gets pushed back again. Stalker steps up one more time, and the Marine's in a good position just to put some damage out, push the Stalkers away. Command center will morph into an orbital command in the main base. Bringing that orbital command online. The SCV and a couple of Marines coming up as well. Starport still building. And a couple of Stalkers joining up. Warpgate and the Twilight Council continuing to come through. Stalker's going to fight. A couple Marines going to get turned around. We will see the Marines obviously trying to push back. No bunker on this low ground because you never established, any control in this low ground is kind of the issue. And Marines only not going to have fun, but there's the Cyclone. And now these Stalkers are in pretty deep. The Cyclone not going to take any shots just yet. Now takes one volley. I wanted another lock on there. That would have been amazing for the Cyclone because then you maybe get a second Stalker kill. At this point, it does become difficult for the Stalkers to attack back through. The Cyclone has to be repaired. And the SCVs will be near there to try and do exactly that. So bring that Cyclone back up to good HP. Liberator, Marines, and the Cyclone all building out. The Stalkers are there once more. Marines are going to load up. Actually going to go boosting forward. This vision is kept, so we get the Stalker kill from the Cyclone. Cyclone low, so again wants to pull back and get repaired, but that is the power of Clem's Cyclone. The micro is there to get a lot out of it, and that means using every little bit of HP it has. In fact, now we're going to start coming across the map a bit more aggressively, maybe. Do we really want to keep on pushing that? Maybe, possibly. It's kind of one of those moments where it feels dangerous because you're going to be getting across the map near to Blink finishing. And the moment Blink is done, this entire army from herO is going to be able to trade that much better, that way, that much more confidently. That obviously becomes a major issue as well, right? As the Marine tank's still building up, a couple extra barracks on the way, Blink finishing soon. Liberator coming around that left side, the Marine Cyclone Force up towards the top left-hand side as well. That Blink will complete. The Temple Archives still builds. Two more probes just going to be taken down as the couple of Stalkers will take some shots into the Liberator as well. So 4 probes going down. Just going to see the medevac loading, boosting back down to the bottom side. Clem pulling back a little bit. Double Cyclone should really help and do a lot, even against the Blink. Just forcing the Stalkers to step away stops a lot of the damage output from them. Actually forcing a full Blink back should give Clem the freedom to get back home. Clem having about a 15 army supply lead, but not really anything you can push with right now. Wants to play defensively against these Blink Stalkers and then maybe go again once Stim and +1 undone. However, that will be, as I was just misspeaking on, is going to be up against Storm, as that is now on the way as well. So herO will have an answer by the time that Clem gets a better army up and running here. Clem is going to make his way to the 3rd command center. That is on the way right now. Stimpack, Combat Shield, and the +1 attack all building. The Observer goes down to the Cyclones with the scan. There's a second Observer right there, but Clem's not paying attention because you don't really expect 2 Observers in the same scan radius on your side of the map, so he doesn't realize the good fortune that he almost ran into on that one. Liberator still on the upper right side. The few Stalkers coming in from the left. against Impact Combat Shield and the +1 continue to go. Nice shot off the Siege Tank, hitting the Stalkers there. To move out. Like I say, 3rd CC, extra barracks behind it, so there's not an intention to end the game with this push. But obviously there's still a good moment where you've got a good army supply lead, and what this comes down to as well is if you can avoid the storms, this has potential. The storms do a lot to give herO safety and to give herO a way to kind of survive through this. If you can dodge those storms, there is a little bit of deadly possibility here on Clem's side. First couple storms come down, but the Prism locked onto. One more storm coming in. High Templars out of energy. There's a couple more High Templars available. Do they actually have storm energy, though? Answer going to be no. Prism comes and saves that one. I think we've got one High Templar with energy in the background here. It's going to drop a storm kind of in the middle of everything. That's not going to be good enough. Tanks move forward. Now going to morph in the Archons. I think that might actually still be good enough here. Them getting a few probes. The natural not minded of herO during this because of the Liberator. The Archons are morphing. Going down. The first one died. The second one just about peels away. Super low, though. Yep, there's that Liberator that has been extremely annoying. The entire natural not mining during this, which means that herO does not have the income he's meant to have. It's going to take a step to the main base. He's going to take some units. No, he's actually going to re-siege the natural, which is fine as well. And herO didn't realize the repositioning of the Liberator, so a few more probes going down. That Archon is super low, and herO is genuinely in some trouble as Clem does have to step back away from one more storm here, but he's going to be able to keep stepping into range of this Nexus. And every time he steps into range of this Nexus, danger is going to be on the table, and herO has to be very, very careful. Widowmine's going to hit dead center on the Zealots as well. The Stalkers will get rid of the Siege Tanks, though, and a little bit of bio here, trying to go after a few more of those Zealots. Their tankiness is what's saving herO for the moment. Clem's +1 putting some work in to help him there. We're out of storms as herO as well. Obviously, that's not good. That's going to keep him from being able to be super safe in this situation, as Clem sitting with a 20 army supply lead, soon to be a 1-1 upgrade lead. His +1 armor is halfway done. Ghost on the way up as well, bringing that through. The Bio Viking on the way out. The single Marine there, going after the probe in the bottom right-hand side. Just going to be seeing the Bio standing strong and fighting back against all of those other units that start to step up. The Widowmine going to be forcing the Stalkers back once more. Good micro with the Prism, obviously just making sure that we can set the mine off. Clem being chased, obviously herO getting aggressive here, giving himself some breathing room at home. We do have one High Templar that's full of energy. I imagine that took a recharge when it got made. The storms are just not landing, though. This is hero's server preference, this is west for map 4, but he has just not found a single storm that's really been like the oh my god storm, the game turning storm, really. All of these storms have been hitting the middle of the units where they are not. You know, like he's been hitting between two different clumps of units or the front, but Clem doesn't stand in it. Clem has weathered the storm literally so far. And now, two Stalkers are going to try and pressure. Clem does not have an angle to take advantage of those. Stalkers have a couple different directions they can leave in, so that shouldn't be a problem. One more blink in there. We're long gone. Still a 30 army supply lead for Clem, though, with Ghost now coming into play. Does have to deal with the Prism in the main base. As the Prism's super low, the Ghost does get it, so no evacuation and most importantly, no additional warp in. That means you know exactly how many Zealots you're up against and you don't have any extra numbers to deal with. You know, 11 Zealots in the main can be such a danger. 4 Zealots in the main, that's whatever. Reinforcements take care of that much more comfortably, as we are going to see Clem try and take advantage of the High Templar here. Gets a snipe, but does lose a Ghost, as he just got a little bit carried away. Now stepping forward, has to be careful as Marines clumped and the High Templars arriving. Ghost not in position because he sent them around that left-hand side, but only denied one of the High Templar. As CV's going down, his herO will lose the Zealots. Once those Zealots go down, the rest of this army becomes very exposed here. You can see the High Templars getting EMP'd, and now there's no more Storm, and there may be no more herO here in Game 4. As Clem steps forward, the Archon falls, everything else gets chased. And Clem now a 50 supply lead in the game, doubling the army supply of heroes. Still upgrades to nothing. Ghosts out, being reinforced with more Ghosts. A Medevac of low HP dropping around the map. As Clem feeling confident. And herO only 3 bases as well, not getting up to that 4 base plus economy that the, you know, typically the Protoss players love to play with. Eye on the Vikings gathering together once again. Stepping up, the Templars and the Zealots coming around. 2-2 upgrades will start one more time. Put a mines, trying to aim for those Zealots, not quite going to happen. The Vikings overhead once more. Dropping the storm down. A couple of Zelds getting grabbed. Going to see the bio units coming in from the top left. Surround is going to be good. It's a beautiful conclusion to this game in the series from Clem as he kills everything. The Prism is the one escapee from this attack from herO. That's clearly not going to be good enough. We're going to warp in a couple units at home, some desperation warp-ins, but herO probably feeling that this one is out of reach for him. It's going to be a lower bracket experience from our Protoss player. As he'll be dropping down to play, I think it's a rematch against Showtime from the group stage, which obviously he lost on originally. Meanwhile, Clem will be advancing through to play Classic in the upper bracket semifinals. That one comes up in a few series time later today. So yeah, this is been all Clem. Making that first game not working out, but the bio games, very comfortable and confident from him. Clem looking good in the TvP.